Hey all, my name is David, and I'm glad that you are at Bridgewater Student Ministries today. Somehow, it's already December, and that means that Christmas is upon us. And maybe you are really excited about that, and you love all the things that this season involves. Maybe you've got your Christmas sweater on every day, and you've been drinking peppermint hot chocolate and eggnog. Your tree has been up since November 1st. You've had Christmas music on since then. You've got your Christmas movies on repeat all the time. Or maybe you're a little less than excited about Christmas because this season, it reminds you of some of the painful parts of your life. Maybe it reminds you every year that you don't have some of the things that your friends do, or it reminds you that your family isn't what you wish that it was, or maybe it's the first holiday season without someone because they passed away this year. Christmas can be a great time of year, but it also can be a hard time of year for some. Regardless of your feelings about this season and the traditions you may or may not enjoy, this season should really remind us of a really important truth as Christians. You see, Christmas in our culture has come to celebrate all kinds of things that are not really tied to the original meaning of Christmas, which is probably really to be expected. But for the follower of Jesus, at Christmas, we can celebrate and be reminded of one of the core foundations of our faith. And so let's go to Matthew chapter 1, one of the passages you might be familiar with in the Christmas story. This is how Jesus, the Messiah, was born. His mother Mary was engaged to be married to Joseph, but before the marriage took place, while she was still a virgin, she became pregnant through the power of the Holy Spirit. Joseph, to whom she was engaged, was a righteous man and did not want to disgrace her publicly, and so he decided to break the engagement quietly. And as he considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. "Joseph, son of David," the angel said, "do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child within her was conceived by the Holy Spirit. And she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." And all this occurred to fulfill the Lord's message through his prophet. "Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us." When Joseph woke up, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded, and he took Mary as his wife. But he did not have sexual relations with her until her son was born. And Joseph named him Jesus. All right, so in this story, we have a young couple that is engaged to be married. And in that culture, engagement was a far greater commitment than it is today. And so it was an even bigger deal than it would be today if the girl became pregnant, and it wasn't his. And so Joseph is, I'm sure, really hurt when he gets this news. And as you would, he assumes that she's cheated on him with some other man. But then the angel appears to him to tell him to not be afraid to marry her because she hasn't been unfaithful. This is actually God's doing. This child to be born is going to be the promised Messiah, the one who would deliver the people from their sins. And this line that the angel quotes is actually from the prophet Isaiah, who had written about 800 years before Jesus was born. And now the angel is saying that this is going to be fulfilled in Jesus. And then the angel quotes this really important line. "She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel," which means God with us. They would call this son to be born Emmanuel, and that means that God is with us. And maybe that doesn't seem like that big of a deal to you at first, but here's the deal. God with us is actually what every human is looking for, even if they don't realize it. And it's really what the story of the whole Bible is all about. You see, at the beginning, humans were separated from God by sin, and ever since then, God has been working to make it possible for us to be with him and him with us. And in some ways, you could really sum up the whole story of the Bible with the idea that God is working to be with his people who have sinned against him. And each of us actually desperately want to be with God. Even if you aren't at all religious and you're only here for the games, or maybe for that girl that you're trying to not make it too obvious that you really like, even if that's you, you still want to be with God. And here's how I know. You want peace. You want joy. You want a sense of purpose in life. You want to be loved, even though you might not always phrase it that way. And all of those things, they come from a relationship with God, from God being with us. We often try to get them in other places, but they always come up rather empty. And Christmas is a reminder that God has sent Jesus to take care of our sin problem. It's a reminder that God is with us through whatever difficult or amazing things that we might face. At Christmas, we're told that God wanted to be with us so much that he didn't just send us a message, he didn't just give us a way to get back to him, he actually came to us by sending us his Son. You see, Christmas, it teaches us that no matter what we face, God is with us. No matter what life throws at us, God is with us. If he loved us enough to send us his Son when we were far from him and when we hated him, why would he abandon us after that? Through the highs, through the lows, through the joys and the pains, God is right there with us. And maybe for you, things are really difficult this time of year. Christmas reminds you that God is with you. Maybe you've walked through something really painful this year. Christmas reminds you that God is with you. Maybe you're loving life and you are loving Christmas time. Christmas reminds you that God is with you. And that is the ultimate reason to rejoice this season. Not the presents or the parties, but the life-changing truth that God is with you. And so this year, as you celebrate Christmas, I pray that you are continually reminded that God is with you no matter what you might face. All right, before we're done, I've got two quick things for you. First, we're going to have a Christmas party at a location near you next week. And so if your leaders haven't given you information on that yet, go ahead and boo them right now until they do. Just kidding, but stay tuned from them on some information about that. And secondly, we're not going to be meeting on December 21st or 28th, but make sure you join us at the Montrose campus on January 4th for our game night. All of our locations will be meeting there for a night of bringing in the new year with some games, including 9 Square and Gaga Ball and laser tag. We're also going to have some hot chocolate and s'mores for a snack, and so you should make sure that you join us on January 4th. All right, everyone, have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, and we will see you next time.